Starscream Kills presents, in a Geeky Guy production. Okay, I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while, which is a little bit of a cooking deal. I'm going to share something with you that I've been doing as something that is really good eats. Now, this dish is what I call curry fries. Now, curry fries are as Indian as egg rolls are Chinese. And if you need a little interpretation about that, leave a comment and I'll explain. But at any rate, in the same way you won't go to China and find egg rolls, you're not going to go to India and find curry fries, at least as far as I know. What curry fries are is they pick up on the idea of French fries, American style, or actually steak fries with the big spuds, cutting in 6, and a sweet dipping sauce. I'm going to use actually vanilla flavored yogurt, but I would suggest plain, because remember, you got to watch the diabetic stuff, because diabetic. And but I have vanilla, that's what I have available, cinnamon and honey to make a sweet dipping sauce for the curry. This is sweet curry powder, but you can use all kinds, and so it's actually could even be kind of dessertish or appetizer like. Now, one of the reasons we like French fries is because we use a sweet dipping sauce ourselves. And I know I'm pimping a lot of brands here, but whatever. And, you know, I didn't like tomatoes growing up. I would never eat one, but my mom's like, why do you like ketchup? They have sugar in this, or sweeteners. So, you know, it's a thing to note. So the fact of a sweet dipping sauce should not be a negative for curry fries. So let me get into it. Real quick, here's the items that I've got. We have spuds here, and not pictured, but is the spuds cleaning scrubbing brush to get the dirt off it. Heat rack, frying pans, though I'll probably only use one, but if the more you use, the more you'll need. I got a bowl here that's going to be for the yogurt-based dip. Spuds, curry, canola oil, cutting board, measuring cup for the oil, spoon for the curry powder, fork and spatula to flip the fries halfway through, and a knife to cut them up. And you need this to get the powder onto the spuds. You're going to put them in there and you jostle it up. So now let me show you how it goes. So you start by having a relatively clean sink, and you scrub the spuds of all their loose dirt and so on. And if you want, you can go and cut out with a paring knife some of the imperfections or character pieces. You also have that option as well when you do the cutting. So I go ahead and I scrub these guys all up like this. Next is you take the potatoes and you go ahead and you cut them into 6 or 8, depending on how large they are. So I start by cutting them down the side, then cut them at wedge angles, like that. So there they go. And then look, I mean, you're not going to get that at McDonald's. It's a French fry, right? So you go ahead and you cut them up. I don't have a real big one. I'll do a small one here, show you how that works. But you want them roughly to be about the same size. I mean, it's not bad if they're a little smaller or larger. When you fit them on the pan, give you more options. You can get the smaller guys or gals into the corners. So you do that. So now you got your spuds cut up in 6, and you put them in the little bucket thing like this. And I take a 1/4 cup here of Wesson or canola oil, and I spread that over them like that. You know, try to get it out. You can always add more, but it's hard, actually, like next to impossible to get it back. I mean, have about as much luck as getting the toothpaste back in the tube once you squeezed it. So then I take the curry powder here. I like Penzeys, good stuff. We buy it in the 4-ounce baggies, and then we put it in jars. You see the wife taped over the label over something else. So then I go in here and I get some generous spoonfuls, maybe 1. Maybe this next one won't be so generous. There we go. Knock that off. So now I got the sauce, the powder in there. I take the lid, I put it on. Guess I'm making a plug for Ziploc. I didn't know it. Get it on there good. Then you just shake it up a bunch like this. It's a two-handed job, so you know, if you need to sit down, if you're like me, or take a quick break, got the, you know, cane nearby, do this like that a couple times, make sure it's good. Want to check the consistency, that's a good coat, so I got enough oil and enough powder. Now I went ahead and I put down the heat safe rack. Now if you're hurting or if you're running a couple pans, you can use the range top as well, but I like to have the option. I'm just going to go with the big pan because just in case it gets too much, I'm already okay. Now when I started all of this, what you didn't see is I set the oven to preheat at 425. 425 is pretty magic. You want it to do that. So then I start to take these guys here and I put them out, and I make sure they all face one direction, so that way when I go to flip them, I know that they've been flipped, because if they're facing this way, they haven't been flipped, but if they're facing like that way, then they have been. So you come with a system, it doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong, but you need a system. So I guess the only right is to have a system. Something that works for you. This is just what I do. I've worked a lot of oil into this pan already, but that's not necessary. So then I go ahead and I just lay these out. I want to give them a little bit of space. You can pack them in like sardines. Not ideal, but can be done. It just makes this easier when you got to flip them, because we're going to have to flip them halfway through when we're cooking. So go ahead, put them out there like this, work them out the space a little bit. Now, these are pretty well coated, but if they weren't, see, I have all this kind of excess there, I could drizzle that over it, but I'm not going to do it now, so I'm going to let it go. That'll give them a good bake.